Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. Today with the second round of our Formula 4 series here on the original Assetto Corsa. This time at Odderdrum Most. Just give me one sec. Nearly forgot to do something quickly. So, welcome along. We're here at Most. A track I've not driven too much. I've done some hot lapping here on Assetto Corsa. Never done a race around here, so I'm looking forward to this. Hoping this will be some good racing. Of course, we had a decent time at it at Interlagos. Interlagos, we qualified 4th for both races. We were challenging for podium positions on the opening lap of the sprint race. Of course, that didn't end well, unfortunately. The feature race then, we had a good run in the feature race. Maybe had a potential for third, but they'll spin on a curb. Unfortunately, denied us that. But yeah, I think we have some potential this evening. Let's see, we have 25 drivers this evening. We were expecting 29 drivers, so we've had a few people not show up, which is a little bit of a shame, but hey, 25 is still a decent number. Or 26 now, it looks like. A little late joiner, perhaps. But yeah, I believe I have the car set up. Yeah, 9. Yep. So, we're ready to go for qualifying here. Maybe someone having connection issues. Hey, good launch. Over pit box, and we lead the way. If Pavot sticks on my rear, on the back of me, I might let him go. But yeah, 8-minute qualifying session here. Yeah, if he sticks with me through this right-hander, I'll let him through. And he started lifting a bit. I don't think he realised I moved over to them 3. But yeah, we're going to try and get 2 3-lap stints in here. That'd be 2 flying laps. Through the final corner. It's just on the edge of being flat out. If you get the line right, you can take it flat. But it's very easy. Just be a little bit late. You have to turn in earlier than you expect. Heading towards turn 1, looking for the line of 100 meters. I'm braking at about 90 meters. Ooh. That's a bit late there. A good start to lap. I want to increase the front brake bias just a little bit. It's annoying that in the setup menu you can't set it to be 0.5 increments. You can only set it in full percentages. But it's actually quite interesting, the two. Because the tires are starting to wear on the second lap, but they're not quite up to temperature on the first. So, you know, the car balance is, you know, how the car acts across the 2 laps is a little bit different. Don't run into the gravel on the outside of the final corner. We compromise us all the way to the line and starting our next lap. 34.3, that's not great. So 33.3 for car in front. Bit early on the brakes. Just after that mistake from the last lap. Yeah, but Pivot, 33.3. That's the benchmark. We're already 6/10 up. But we would not be surprised if he's able to go quicker on this second lap. Nearly 7/10 up now. Well, I turned in way too late there. Just about keeping the car on the track. A little bit of rear instability, turning in for the right-hander there. Johan's caught us up a bit. Isn't nice, you know, shows us that, yeah, he's going much quicker. It's going to be up to P2 very briefly. I turned my keyboard off. I keep needing to remember not to turn my keyboard off. Slide in behind Zach Silver here. But 33.0 from Johan. Very quick lap. That's like, even across the practice server, that's really quick, and this would be one of the lowest, you know, quite low grip settings at the moment. The track's still rubbering in. Two and a half tenths to the next car behind us. We're in P3. Alex Rum 6. Expecting them to be a little further up. They had a 33.3 in the practice server. Through the final corner. Start hopefully our penultimate lap. Actually, this will be our final lap. We don't have time for a second lap, so we just gotta go for it. Braver on the brakes, but didn't quite get the car to the apex. As with like Zach Finney has popped up to P3. practically matching our fastest laps so far. Alex has got themselves to P5. Much better apex through the fast right-hander. Got good speed through that right-hander. Checkered flags out. A little bit wide of the apex, that's not ideal. Oh, the car starts sliding on the curb. Up to line, it's going to be close as to whether this is an improvement. 3 thousandths, I think I improved there at the end. Alex does get ahead of us by nearly 0.3 of a second. Quite the gap behind us between Lee and Harkonnen from 6th to 7th. That's a little over half a second, so it is. Now I want to do a quick little bit of fuel calculation. We'll say 134. No, that. So we're looking at a 13-lap race here. So you're going to need 37 liters of fuel. But looks like we'll be starting at P5. Not sure which side pole position and the on numbers are on. If it's the inside or the outside. But yeah, there is the end of qualifying. So yeah, but looks like things are quite close. We're still sort of a little bit off the top group. We're not quite on our pace. Zach Finney has jumped in after missing last week and has put themselves into that top group. Lee showed good pace in the first qualifying last week as well. Again, showing good pace here. Looks like they could give us a little bit of a challenge. So yeah, hopefully we can have a bit of an interesting race and we're not sort of stuck on our own. So yeah, this should be quite interesting. Yeah, one keep it clean this sprint race. Thankfully, you know, the mistake, the incident last week didn't cost us too many points. The sprint race offers 15 points for a win and awards points to the top 15. You can work out how that system works. The top 15 score in the feature race, but the winner gets 30 points, and it's not 2-point increments the whole way. There's a lot more points earned in the top half of that point system than the bottom half. But let me just double check. Yep. Get ready. I'm naturally practiced to start since last week. So here we go. All right, start everyone already coming to the left-hand side. held on to P6. Looks like everyone's through the first couple of corners cleanly, which is great to see. Oh, someone's a little bit deep, sliding around on the cool tires in front. As we all concertina up into the hairpin. Oh, it looks like, oh, there has been a mess through that sort of chicane, that high-speed chicane. Alex Martinez has got to P7. A little bit of a gap in front and behind us, but they're side by side in front. As again, apex somewhere there at the final corner. Or penultimate corner, I should say. Still side by side in front for P3. Alex on the inside. Looks like they're going to get this position. They're still side by side. But looks like, yeah, Pavou's going to get the position. Alex Martinez not too far behind us. Top two starting to drive away. Oh, Alex gone to the grass, or the gravel, I should say. And that's led us again up into P4. I don't know if we'll be able to keep this position. Oh, stop for Alex. Zach Finney going for a spin one corner later, and we're now up to P3. Two of the top drivers making mistakes all by themselves. Actually got to the apex of the penultimate corner for a change. I took a little safety lift, but still let the car run out a little too wide onto the gravel. Up to P3 with 3 seconds back to Zach Finney behind. We're only a quarter of the way into this race. after those 2 mistakes from last lap. Front of the field has spread out a bit. But I know for a fact Zach Finney's going to be chasing us down. A little bit of understeer there. Not running into the gravel this time. 33.9 from the leader, 33.9 from Finney behind. He gained 0.6 on us. With that pace, he'll certainly close up to us. In about 4 to 5 laps. A little deep into the hairpin. There's Alex up to 7th place again. Ooh, the rear just had a little slide there off the apex curb. Maybe the way you have to run the car to, have this top pace that the top ones have around us is a lot of front end, but quite an unstable car. Maybe not super consistent and quite difficult to drive. Finney actually slower than us that lap. Little bit of gravel kicked up from Pavot in front. Remember, there is a point for fastest lap of the race. So even if Pavot can't win, he can score equal points to Johan by snatching the fastest lap. Finney's dropped back from us a bit this lap. Starting to get more comfortable with taking that right-hander flat out. So I am. Find a little bit of pace this lap. Just about kept the car out of the gravel. Nearly into the 33s, but not quite. Alex, 33.6, laying down a benchmark in their recovery drive. Only slightly faster than Finney last lap. We were actually slightly quicker than Pavot. Oh, this track's actually really enjoyable. That little sequence there just flows really nicely. Getting up to actually a bit of lapped traffic. The first of which has put themselves into the gravel. Finney closed the gap slightly this lap. By a little over 2/10. Finney's still closing us up to us ever so slowly. Oh, I got really wide there. I just sort of straddled the top of the curb and it just pushed the car out. Sometimes running the inside of the curb can help rotate the car if you kind of hook onto the inside of it a bit. Finney with personal best that lap, gained over 6/10 on us, now within 2 seconds. Good hairpin there. Alex has got themselves up to P5. They're not going to close down the 10-second gap. Six minutes remain. Struggling with that final corner. Just feels like the balance of the car slightly shifted from practice to the race here. 4 laps to go. Finney will just about catch us at this rate. Oh, Finney's made another mistake. The gap's opened up to 5 seconds. They were pushing hard to try and catch us. Just seems like we are going to hold on. Gotta make sure not to make any mistakes of our own. There are a couple more lap cars up ahead. One of which we had quite a bit of trouble with last week. So hopefully the same doesn't happen this week. And Kind of losing confidence through these final 2 corners now. Tire wear is quite high, but the fuel is burning off. Faster than the 2 cars in front of us, but by less than a tenth. Actually quite happy with how, you know, the pace has been in the second half of the race. It's been very comparable to the cars in front of us. Big twitch for the lapped car in front of us. There, just hooked the wheel on the inside of the curb, and it did help rotate the car ever so slightly that time. 2 laps to go. Finney, new personal best, 400ths off of taking the fastest lap of the race and the bonus point that comes with it. I braked a little too late there, and I thought, don't just throw the car into the corner. There's no need to take any risk. Lose a few tenths, that's completely fine. Just noticed Johan's lead is round about where it was. I was misinterpreting the numbers. He did lose a little bit of time with the lapped car. Front just washing out there, trying to turn in. Final lap then. A little bit of wheel spin, trying to put power down out of the chicane there. Finney definitely would have caught us, as Alex sets an even quicker lap. Ooh, lap car beels off to the gravel trap. Time runs out. As we come up to line, it is going to be P3. Oh, Johan, last lap of the race, throws in a 33.2. to take the fastest lap of at the end. Oh, Alex had a bad final lap. I think they must have made a mistake. A 43.0. I think they did just about hold on to P5. But yeah, what a fun race. We got through cleanly. We had a couple of people make mistakes around us. So despite having qualified and started in P5, we take P3. But yeah, that sets us up for a very interesting feature race. We've seen a lot of drivers take tyres last week at Interlagos. I wonder if we'll see the same again this week. Because we didn't change tyres, and people are kind of like, oh yeah, that strategy didn't look too bad. We'll have to see. How'd it feel? Got the feel right. Had less than a litre as we crossed the line. Yeah, but the tyre wear is quite bad. But even if you put, this is half a race. Like, yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Alex held on by 0.4 of a second. Yeah, that's very close there. So it was from 5th to 8th. 1.2 seconds covering the 4 of them. Yeah, that's pretty good. Someone, Zach Silver is in the Discord server, that they added 2 front wing and immediately realized that was a bad idea. Yeah. Interesting decision, that one. We'll switch over to the face cam here. But yes, that's the end of race 1. We will have a second race coming up soon. Just need to give the server a wee moment for it to take over. And let's get going again. And here we are. Of course, last week we did an interview at this part. We're not doing one this week. It would be a good idea if I loaded the setup and then fuel 6 liters. Might as well have one go at one-shot quali. Since we have the time. So, one-shot qualifying coming up. This, as we've seen, isn't the easiest tracks to get the lap in, you know, get all hooked up. So I think this will be very interesting. I'll let Pavo go again. Shift the brake bias forward. I think a car coming out of the pits. Gone the way of Pavo's lap. Eyes a little bit deep on the brakes. Just trying to push it. Maybe pushed it a little too hard into there. .8. Not bad for one shot. I don't think that's too bad. But I think we would like to have been a little bit quicker. So, yeah. Warm-up. Time has run out on warm-up, so drivers just going to finish their current lap. Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad practice for the one shot. Let's see if we can at least get P5 again. I think I'm kind of hoping for one of the top four to have a per lap to be any better than 5th. The main thing is I just don't want to be lower than 5th. I have the pace to be 5th, so that's where I want to be. I mean, if we end up 6th or 7th, you know, around there, a little bit lower than 5th, hey, it'll make for an interesting race. Of course, we have the strategy in this race coming up. I have an idea of what I'm going to do. See, Hazenily, Michael putting in a 33.5, just over a couple of tenths quicker. Yeah, just waiting for the session to take over. There it goes. So just less than a minute now until we go for our one-shot quali. Whew. So yeah, this will be an interesting one. Everyone out immediately. Oh, it looks like I've misset the session time to 5 minutes instead of 3 accidentally. We'll abide by 1 shot. Surprised the top 3 are staying as close as they are. Maybe some of them are trying to get a bit of slipstream. Bavo's quite close to Johan. Oh, I turned into the understeer. Had to take a big lift there. That's not good. Someone in the gravel. 33.3, but we see a 32.9. Just putting in a message. Just make sure everyone's on the same page. Or wait a sec. Hang on. I don't think the session ticked over to qualifying. Because it says, oh. Um... So I think we're going to get an actual one-shot quali here. That's kind of fun. We would have been P3, so we would have... Finney made him... didn't get a great lap in 35.0. Alex didn't get a great lap, 33.9. Yeah, and I also noticed the track grip went from 98.1% at the end of the 5-minute warm-up back to 98.0. So I kind of, that's my first indication that something was, but yeah, here we go, qualifying for real this time. And this time we have jumped to second in the queue. I'm just going to get on with it. Yeah, and this time it is a 3-minute session. I did see for the brief second it loaded. Yes, this is qualifying. Probably shouldn't have gone into that penultimate corner as hard. Aimed for a better exit. Not the best final corner either. But this is what we have. One shot for real this time. Let's try and do as good as we did last time. That wasn't great. No, that sequence wasn't good. Both rears started to rotate on the brakes there. Up to line, shifted a fraction late there. 32.7 from Johan, 33.1 from Pavot. Finney gets a time in this time, 32.9. Alex only at 33.5. And then there's a second gap. Harkonnen gets to P6, but there's that second gap still remains. But yeah, not quite as good on that attempt. Yeah, got that sort of S's section wrong. At the end of the middle sector, I believe it is. Oh! Michael pips us by 5 thousandths. Oh, that is tight. So we will be starting P5, this time with Michael in front of us. And Alex behind us. Interesting. Much longer race here. We'll do 93 just for this one. So 26. Yeah, we're looking at 27 laps here. So 14 times 2.8 is going to be 49. And then 13 times 2.8 is 36.4. So we will start the race with 40 liters. And then we will put 36 in. We'll have a change of tires. And we'll go for the tire change strategy this week. Tire wear just seems to be a little bit more prevalent. So yeah, I want to give it a go this week. But yeah, it was interesting last week. Let's see how it fares out this week. Lights coming on now for our feature race. Not the greatest of starts. It's a good start from Michael. Oh, Alex was around my outside. I didn't quite realize that, to be honest. Gives us a poor run. Of course, tires are cooled. That's not a good right-hander. Wasn't good for Harkonnen. I think we all over-committed a little bit to forgetting the tire's still cooled. And so it's not flat out. Of course, we're heavy with fuel compared to the race. It looks like there's been a crash in that S's section. I messed up in the quali lap. I don't know why I slightly braked our lift so much into the final corner. Fight going on up ahead. Alex taking P3. Zach Finney's disappeared. A little bit of locking going on into the hairpin here. Harkonnen still right behind us. Bit of arrow wash there, I think. Just turned in the Corsa, understeered, then started to just slide. Again, the car balance just feels a little different to qualifying. And the first race even. Harkonnen's got a good run here. There's a couple of car lengths back as we head on to start-finish straight here with the slipstream. Just gotta get her inside for T1. I just clipped the gravel there. Stay in front for now, but unfortunately that defending is gonna allow Michael to get away. That's a very brave place to try and move. I want to see if we can catch Michael in front, because this is the first time that he's actually been ahead of us on pace. Hooked the inside there nicely on the curb. Held it flat through the final corner. Fuel usage is a little bit higher than what I used to calculate, just go bear that in mind. May need to add a liter. Got built a little bit of a gap to Harkonnen. Certainly closed up on Michael through the later part of the previous lap. Lost a bit of traction on the inside curb there, trying to put the power down. That's Johan off. Johan in the gravel from the lead of the race. Was not expecting that. Putting the pressure on Michael now. Johanna has got back going again. Got a slipstream round. Ooh. I had a little moment in front of us, so he did. I was even lifting because I knew I had to run. So he's taking a trip through the gravel and he's got going again, but that's allowed Harkonnen to close up to us. Going to have a good final couple of corners. Good exit from the final corner. He's closing. He's not going to be close enough. Hopefully now with a bit of free air we can pull away. Johan is about 5 seconds behind us. He is quick. He should be able to close that in over the 31.5 minutes that remain in this race. The question is, what strategy are people going for? Who's taking new tires, who isn't? Spin! Alex has had a spin. That's P2. Take a little lift there. The car was just going understeer wide otherwise. Sluts in ahead of Harkonnen. Turned in too late for the final corner. Harkonnen trying to attack Alex, who's trying to defend, trying to break the slipstream towards turn 1 here. Time to do that brake bias adjustment. So Pivot running away with this race currently. Front right lock up there, but that's alright. Apex in there somewhere. Alex does have the fastest lap of the race at 33.4. The main thing here is when Alex passes us, I don't want to lose too much time. You know, I don't want Harkonnen to catch back up and start trying to fight me again. Alex really closed in through that sequence. Just defensive by half a car length, just to discourage him from making a move into the penultimate corner. But instead, right on our tail through the final couple of corners. He'll make a move into turn 1. I'm not going to fight it too hard. Or really fight it at all. Just trying to keep the cap to Harkonnen. We've got a lapped car off the track in front of us. Rear wheel started to spin there, trying to put the power down. Alex might just be the quickest driver in the field. But he seems to be struggling a little bit for consistency. If he can have a good run between now and the end of the race, he might be able to chase Pivot. The difference in their fastest laps is 8 thousandths of a second. Harkonnen is keeping up with me here. Already on lap 10 of this race. It's going by quite quickly. Johan's 4 seconds behind us. Finney's made their pit stop. And is in 7th. Maybe that's where Finney disappeared to. Maybe they made a really early pit stop. Interesting. Easily past the lapped cars, they ran wide into the gravel. Ooh. No great entry to T1. Oh, Harkonnen had a slow lap. Not sure what happened to them. It was a slow lap either way. Putting in an extra liter of fuel. Just because I think I might need it and I'd rather be safe here. It's not going to cost us any time in the pits, it's only the extra weight of carrying the fuel around. Struggling with understeer. 3 laps until we pit. 20.5 minutes to go. Plus 1 lap, of course. Lapped car had a spin coming out of the first chicane, it seems like. Another lapped car trailing a lot of dust from the grass. I think we're going to catch them at a pretty bad point here. They dive into pit lane. Which is good for us, means they don't hold us up. Harkonnen into the pits. The Ren just sliding a little bit through the hairpin, not giving me the confidence to just crank the steering in and put the power down. Someone's hand off at the upcoming right-hander. We're sort of at the halfway point in the race now. Bit of smoke there, not sure what that was from. I think it might have been a lapped car that's gone into the pits. Right, we pit at the end of this lap. Fresh tyres and to fill up to the end of the race. Johan's pitted, or not Johan, sorry, Pavot's pitted from the lead. This is going to be a good time to pit because we're just catching up to lapped traffic. We've got 3 lapped cars in front of us and they've all pitted. Oh, the rear end! Just sliding there as we came into the pits. That was a little scary. Oh, that slide. Of course, the fuel covered by the tires. Oh, I'm not sure the car in front took tires. If Alex took tires, not sure. We're clear on pit exit here, which is nice. And now you've got to get a move on. Try and make up the time that we've given up by changing tires here. Of course, the tires are cold. As we have a lapped car who's had a spin. Rejoining. So now the car is a little bit lighter. Only by a couple of litres of fuel than it was in the first stint, but the track has gripped up quite a bit since then. Yeah, I can see Alex's pit stop lap 4 seconds quicker than it was for us. So I don't think he has taken tires. In which case, I'm surprised why he didn't carry on with light fuel. Although, to be honest, if he didn't take tires, I would have expected the difference on our outlaps that do include the pit stops. That's a little scary. To have had a bit more of a difference. Still waiting on one car to pit. That's Johan, who has inherited the lead. I don't think Johan is going to change tires. I think he's taking my strategy from last race. He's into the pits now. 14.5 minutes to go plus 1 lap. Maybe. I mean, this is the point you'd be pitting if you started on a full tank of fuel. And running it till you're dry. This is, yeah, pretty much the point you'd be pitting. He's on pit exit now. Yeah, I don't think he has taken tires. That car's going to very kindly let us through. So we're down to P4 now. We've got Zach Finney 9 and a bit seconds behind us. Oh, he took a second pit stop. So maybe he pitted to repair damage at first. Interesting. new personal best. To try and chase down Johan. If he is on old tyres, might be able to have a little bit more pace than him. Gap's a little over 4 seconds. Turned in a little too late. Picked up understeer there. A little bit of sledding from the car through the final corner. We are quicker, but it's only by 0.2. Not enough if we want to catch him before the end of the race. And the tyre advantage that we have, or that we presumably have, is going to deteriorate the tyres do get to a point where they don't wear as much later in their life. Turned in too late again. A little messy through the final couple of corners. 9.5 minutes to go. Yeah, and we're just matching Johan's pace at the moment, it seems. Yes, I'm getting the feeling this is where we're going to be for the end of the race, and unless we see another mistake from one of the drivers in front. Which, in fairness, they haven't been immune to a mistake. Alex has made a couple of mistakes, so has Johan. Really, they're doing that front left through the final corner, keeping it flat. Fuel burn's come back down to the 2.8. I originally expected it to be, not the sort of 2.85 as saying a bit earlier. Like somewhere at the hairpin. That wasn't a great line, turned in a little too early. Got a car spun here, the right-hander coming up. Turned it in and the rear just started to slide, and then trying to correct it, you just unsettle the car and it starts to slide even more. Oh, that's unfortunate. But kept the car out of the gravel, kept it going, so won't have lost us too much. Just a second. Five and a half minutes plus 1 lap to go in this race. Just about able to hold it flat. I might have actually lifted just like 1 or 2% by any personal best. As we're really just ticking off the laps to the finish now. Car from the gravel here through the final 2 corners. A little nervous, so we're going to try and rejoin there. That's a difficult spot to try and rejoin from, with how the gravel being right on the edge of the track. You know, it doesn't give you any space to get going before you rejoin the track. Another lap car. He's going quite slowly. Not sure if they have an issue or just being very generous with how they're letting us through. Johan suddenly taking the fastest lap of the race as unexpected. Less than a tenth. Can anyone else respond for that bonus fastest lap point at the end of this race? It's going to be very tight. Ooh, that's a bad line. It's going to be very tight here if this is the penultimate lap, or if we're going to get 2 more laps after this one. My car has had an issue. I think we will just about get 2 more laps. But it's so tight that there is a chance that someone maybe further down the grid, not expecting the race to be as fast as it has been, has miscounted their fuel. Leader just coming to the line now, as we can see on the track map in the bottom right. Yeah, they will just start a penultimate lap with 12 seconds on the timer. So 2 laps to go. Look how close the lap times are between the top 3 last lap. Zach Finney's had a bad lap, 42.8. Dropped back to 18 seconds behind. We're going adventuring. I was a little bit concerned there. It looked like they might have come back to the racing line, but they didn't, thankfully. A little bit wide at the final corner. Oh, Alex is suddenly behind us. I didn't see when we passed him. I thought that was a lapped car that we passed that was off in the grass. But maybe it was Alex. Either way, we're now in podium position as we have started the final lap of the race. Yeah, I think that was actually Alex. I thought it was the lapped car that's still in front of us, but they're still there in front of us, so that must have been Alex. Had a moment at the fast right-hander. Gifts us the final place on the podium. Fight for P19 in front of us, I just noticed. 2 cars going side by side into the penultimate corner. Being quite aggressive with one another. As we come to the line, it is P3 at the feature race here at Most for round 2. Still have a litre of fuel in the car, so didn't need to put in that extra litre. I don't think it... Looking at the gaps that there were, it didn't really cost us anything. Oh boy. Yeah, the race was certainly a bit more eventful in the first half of the race. But yeah, no mistakes, and gives us a podium despite the pace maybe not necessarily being podium worthy. Johan, with the second place finish, takes fastest lap. Bonus point. But yeah, that was fun. It was nice to try a different strategy. With changing the tires this time. I don't think it really made a difference. You know, it's hard to say. If we weren't changing tires, we would have started the race with 48 litres of fuel, an extra 9 litres. We would have been a little bit slower in the first part of the race, which might have made it a bit more difficult to fight Harkonnen and Michael, who were fighting in the first portion of the race. Then, yeah, we would have, you know, the second part of the race would have been a bit more sketchy with the old tires, the less grip. So yeah, I couldn't tell you which, you know, how beneficial the strategy was. You know, what really was the difference between the two. Very, very difficult to tell, but still. But yeah, that's good. You don't want it to be obvious which was a better strategy and which wasn't. Oh, Zach Finney didn't have the clutch fully pressed off the start, and so jumped the start. Yeah, that was good fun. I enjoyed this evening, and I'm looking forward to next week. Next week we head to Okayama, a Japanese circuit, and we have a different format. We have 3 20-minute sprint races. We still have the initial 8-minute qualifying for the first race, still the one-shot qualifying for the second race, but the third race grid will be reversed. A reverse of the second race results will set the grid for race 3. 20-minute sprint. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It should be very interesting. So it should be. But yeah, thank you to everyone that's popped in during the stream. Seems we had quite a few people. Hope you enjoyed the racing here at Most. Hopefully you'll join me again next week when we head to Okayama for the third round. Next week we also have another Le Mans Ultimate race. It's the return of the SRL WEC Championship that we're running in the number 19 Genesis. We're heading to Interlagos for a delayed 4th round after there were server issues in the original scheduled date for Interlagos. And obviously I had to miss Le Mans, unfortunately, with an injury at the time. So, yeah, 2 streams, 2 races next week. Looking forward to them. Hopefully you can join me then. Until then, have good rest of your evening, good rest of your week, and good weekend. Good start to your next week, a good Monday as well. Until next time. Until then, take care, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.